What's up, everybody? Week 6 in the books. And man, we had a few upsets this week, man. Let's jump right into it. Eli, 2-time Super Bowl MVP. Going against M-Team 8000, my boy Marco. And Eli, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, comes through with a 145-131 victory. The 2-3 moves up to 500. I'm now 3-3. Marco drops down to 4-2. And man, it was a team effort. I had 7 players in double digits. Well, Marco's tight end combo of Brate and Everett combined for a measly 11 points. Sorry, Marco. I told you, man, it was going to happen this week. Next matchup, the battles of the 1-4s. Gotham Knights versus Colin Kaepernick. And Terry with the 125-105 win. So it came down to the Monday night game. And I think Jordan was down by like 10 points, but he had Herbert. All Terry had was Hopkins. I was like, damn, you don't want, Jordan probably got this. Who would have guessed that Hopkins would have outscored Herbert, man? Ugliness, 13-9. That being said, you look at the trade between them two that happened prior to that game, and so far, early results are showing that Jordan may have won that trade. Ayuk going off for 28 points, while the combo of Wilson and Madison, a total combined points, 6 points. Not great, but that's only 1 week. We'll see how it plays out through the rest of the season. Terry goes up to 2-4. Jordan drops down to 1-5. Next matchup, Legendary Giant versus Ojo Meister. And this was the second upset of the week, as Legendary Giant pulls through with the 153-114 win, going to 2-4. Ojo Meister, Cuzzo, after starting the season 4-0, has now lost 2 in a row, dropped down to 4-2, and the combo of Burrow and Chase is finally awoken here in the season as they combine for 75 points, while Jones and Brissett, the quarterback combo, combines for just 29. Good job, Juan, moving up in the rankings. Next matchup, we have Team Deal versus Steel Curtain. And Danny with the 139-107 victory, going up to 4-2, possibly one of his best seasons in the history of this league that he's having right now. And why? Because of the combined running back effort of Barkley, Hall, and freaking Sanders combining for 53 points. Wow. Ariel, with your combination of Jones, and I'm not even going to try to massacre his name, the tight end from Denver, combined for 0 points. Donut. Yes, Jones was inactive, so that played part into it, but 0 points. Team Deal goes up to 4-2. Ariel drops down to 500 at 3-3. Next up, we have the top team in the league, Flying Buffalo Wings, going up against Bad Boys, and Alex pulling out the 129-116 win. And what was the difference? The difference was the quarterbacks. Allen and Hurts combined for 58 points. Bad Boys decided to only start one quarterback, even though you had Jimmy G on your bench, and Wentz goes for a total of 5 points. Now, why was that mistake so crucial? Well, you lost by 13 points, and Jimmy G was left on the bench, who had a combined total of 21 points. So even if you decided not to start 2 QBs, if you would have started Jimmy G over Wentz, you would have gotten the win. But again, that's Monday morning quarterbacking. It happened. That being said, starting one quarterback when you had 2, very questionable. That being said, Alex goes up to 5-1. And he drops down to 3-3. Next matchup, Ridley's, believe it or not, against Frank's Jets. And here's the third upset of the week. Ridley pulling out the 144-115 win, going up to 2-4, drops Frank's down to 4-2. And what a pickup. Deion Jackson, you pick him up for 1 week and 1 week only because he's already been dropped. But in that 1 week, he gets 28 points for you. Whereas Frank's Jets starts Wilson from San Fran, and he had a negative ½ point. Ridley goes up to 2-4. Frank's Jets 4-2. And then the final matchup, Brooklyn Giants versus Bushwick Hitman. The Battle of the Bros. And Will with the 106-84 win. And let me just tell you, Will, I think you being 4-2 right now is the most surprising thing in the league this year. I did not think that you would be this high, but so far you are, man. 4-2, man. And there's nothing to say. Devontae Smith goes for 15 points, outscores the entire wide receiving core from Bushwick Hitman. He started 3 wide receivers, all 3 combined for 10 points, pulls out the 106.84. Bubba, 1-5, tied for last place. And Will, like I said, man, congrats again. The 106.84 win. It's up to 4-2. So we'll look at the standings. Flying Buffalo Wings on top at 5-1, 2-game winning streak. Then you got Frank's Jets, Ojo Meister, Team Deal, and Team 8000, Brooklyn Giants, all tied at 4-2. Following that up, you got 3 teams. You got Bad Boys, who's in 7th place at 500 at 3-3. I move up into the number 8 spot, also at 3-3 with my 2-game winning streak. And Steel Curtain has dropped down to the 9th spot and outside the playoff box with their 2-game losing streak, Ariel 3-3. After that, you got Legendary Giant, Ridley's Believe It or Not, Gotham Knights, all at 2-4, all winning last week, all trying to climb up into that playoff spots. And then you got Colin Kaepernick and Bushwick Hitman rounding out the bottom. Bubba, you're on a 4-game losing streak, man. You've got to turn it around. And listen, this may be the week to do it. All right. I'm looking at the potential right now. And this week, if things play out a certain way, you may end this week with 6 teams being 4-3. Which one of those teams being out of the playoff spot? So that's pretty crazy. It's very close, man. These games, the head-to-head match is going to be very important because especially if you have a lot of you have the same records, it's going to come down to the head-to-head. So, man, each game becomes important when you start facing a team that may have a similar record as you. All right, let's go into this week's matchup. So we got Eli, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, 3-3, going up against Ojo Meister, who's riding a 2-game losing streak. And the early game so far, Ojo Meister's up 23-0. Freaking Eno Benjamin freaking goes off, man. And I'll tell you, yeah, I'm not confident this week. I don't know why. I mean, maybe it was, Benjamin going off that first game, so it's, not a good sign. But we'll see how this plays out. I'm hoping it's a tight one. We'll see how it goes. Team 8000 against Team Deal, 2-4-2 teams. Mark goes up to the early 21-0 lead. He's already had one guy play. Then you have Bad Boys and Ridley's Believe It or Not. Ridley, you got Marty trying to move up the defending champs to get back into the playoff contention. And you got Bad Boys, who right now is going through a little bit of a slide. Then you have the battles of the 1-5. Bushwick Hitman versus Colin Kaepernick. Loser will be in sole possession of last place. Bushwick Hitman's early 38-0 after using 2 people. Then we have Gotham Knights versus Steel Curtain. 2 teams trying to battle it out. Then you have Frank's Jets against Brooklyn Giants. 2 teams that are 4-2. 2 teams who Brooklyn Giants trending 3 in a row, trying to make it 4 in a row. And the final matchup, Flying Buffalo Wings against Legendary Giant. And this should be a game. This should be a game that Juan should win. Why? Because Alex has both his quarterbacks on a bye this week. So if there was any chance to take them down, this is the week. Alex is up early 6-0. So I was doing some research on Colin Kaepernick. And Jordan, if you lose this week, you will drop down to 17-17 since switching to the name Colin Kaepernick. So I was looking at the history of Jordan, because Jordan's had a few name changes in this league. He's like the freaking Washington team. He's had different names. He started out as the Losers back in 2013, and he was that team for 2 years, where he made a record. He compiled a record of 14-16. Then Jordan took a hiatus and then made a triumphant return in 2017, where for 3 years he was LeBron is a bum. The real name was LeBron is better than Jordan, but I always called it LeBron is a bum. When you were that team name, you were 26-13. You had a 667 winning clip, and you won a championship in 2018. Then in 2020, you switched to the name Colin Kaepernick, and since then you're 17-16. And if you lose this week, not only will you be in sole possession of last place, but then you will be at 500 with that team name. What does this all mean? I'm just saying, maybe as much as I don't want to say this, maybe you need to switch back to the LeBron as a bum name. I mean, 26-13 when you had that team name, man. That was pretty impressive. All right, man. So here we go. Week 7 is here, man. Dude, can you believe the freaking Phillies are going to freaking go to the World Series? I mean, listen, San Diego can come back, but like I said before, man, any team in the NL could make it. I did not think that the Phillies would be the last team standing, but that's what it looks like. It's not going to mean anything because I think the Astros win the World Series this year. And I think Dusty Baker finally gets his first ring as a manager. Giants this week has Jacksonville, and this game has me a little nervous. Even though they're not favored, which I guess that's a good thing. I just feel like this is a game the Giants should win the way they've been playing. But this is definitely going to be a trap game where they lose. That being said, 5-1, if they win this game, they go 6-1. That'd be pretty amazing. I mean, the way they played Baltimore last week, dude, this Giants team has got me inspired. And listen, much love to the Jets, man. 4-2. And again, this should be a win for the Jets this week. The Broncos without Russell Wilson? Football in New York? What's going on? First it was baseball, now it's football? Is New York finally becoming a good sports city again? Remains to be seen, man. But you guys have a good week. I will see you guys next week. G-Man, let's do it this week, man. Talk to you guys later.